What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your boy, Sirr Love. I'm coming back with another video. We said we was going to keep the series going. You want to talk about distribution deals? Are they alive? Are they dead? Let's talk about them. Are they still prevalent? What is a distribution deal? For people in the music industry that have heard of distribution deals, let's talk about them today, what they look like, and how they could potentially help you guys out. If this is something that you're striving for, hopefully this video is going to be helpful. If you want to know more about record deals in general or publishing deals or any other type of deals, watch another video in this series. This is all about contracts, high level understanding and learnings of what type of things to strive for, what type of deals you might want to sign going forward. So this is Phase 6. Let's do it. All right, so let's jump straight into it. A distribution deal. Now, a distribution deal, they get a lot of hype and a lot of fame because there's a lot of people that did a lot of dope things with a distribution deal. Give you an example. Everyone knows, or not everyone knows, but a lot of people knew in the 90s or in the early 2000s about how Master P was able to get an 80-20 distribution deal, distribute his product. It went multi-platinum and he was able to keep the majority of the money. This was something that was unheard of. Artists were getting screwed, artists were getting robbed, and somehow this hood dude from the streets finds a way to get a distribution deal with a major company and come up and make millions of dollars doing hood music, which ended up being street music, which ended up being hip hop music, which ended up being pop music, which ended up being main culture music, right? People caught on to make us say, and the records took off, right? This was also done by Baby with Cash Money. So, people are very familiar with these things. If you know the story of Master P, he went and hired Michael Jackson's attorney, went and got the money up in cash, paid for Michael Jackson's attorney to sit him down and walk him through the process of what types of deals there are and how to go about closing a distribution deal. And to my knowledge, he paid I think north of 20 bands to have that conversation. And you guys are getting ready to get a piece of that conversation for free. Look at how times change. Look how the internet does things, and you guys are blessed. So let's talk about it. Just being funny, but let's talk about it. So a distribution deal is basically a situation in which the record label is going to give you the opportunity to distribute your record to the masses. Now, back in the day when Master P did this and people like Baby from Cash Money did this and a whole lot of others did these types of deals, it was a big deal because there was no way to get your music to the consumers other than getting it in major store outlets. It started off as like mom and pop stores, like CD places in certain neighborhoods that had, that you could go and get CDs. Like there was a time period when there were CD stores, just like vinyl stores and tape stores. Before, everything got commercialized with big companies like Best Buy and Circuit City and Walmart and all these people that started selling music. Well, before them, you went to these different mom and pop shops local in every particular area or any chain of record stores, as they would have been called in that time period, and you can buy music. Now, the only way to get your music in these places was to go through a distributor because the distributor had contracts with all these places. No different than if you think about Walmart now, you want to buy something from Walmart. Well, whoever's trying to get their product in Walmart has to have a relationship with Walmart in some way to get their product in there. So you might create the next amazing shampoo tomorrow, but it doesn't mean it's going to be in Walmart. That's how music was. You can make amazing music, but it doesn't mean anyone's going to hear it because you can't get it in the stores. You need distribution. It was a big deal. So just getting a distribution deal was cool because now it gives you an opportunity for the whole world or for a particular region or wherever you distributed it out to listen to your music. Now, the beauty of a distribution deal is not only did you get distribution, but you also got a check a lot of the times. The label would advance you a certain amount of money to market because they're getting a percentage, or the distributor, if you will. The distributor is getting a percentage off the sales. And so back then, they sold by the case. At one point, it sold by the case. Eventually, it started selling by scans. SoundScan came out, and you started scanning the CDs individually. And all these different things started happening, and the distributor was making money. Okay? So the distributor would advance you money in order for you to go out there, print your stuff and market and sell it and get it out there in the market. When they got their returns back, every time something was sold, they would pay, for all the things that they advanced you, and then whatever split you had, which was typically 80-20, they send you your 80%, they keep their 20%, and they would do this with multiple artists all around the world and just make all sorts of money off of these artists. They only gave distribution deals to artists that were already popular, artists that were already hot, or artists that were already able to afford to get their stuff printed on their own. If you watch the NWA movie, when you see Eazy-E walking in the building and he's going in, pressing up and buying his own CDs, he was doing his own distribution at that time period. So this was definitely a thing. Distribution deals were cool because if you got one on a mass level, you had the opportunity to get 80% of everything that you did, and you got the opportunity to get invested in so that you could promote your music. That is like the coolest deal ever at the time period. Now, distribution deals are completely different today, largely because no one's really buying CDs anymore. When's the last time you went to Best Buy? Best Buys are closing all around the nation. When's the last time you went to Walmart and bought a CD? When's the last time you went to Amazon and bought a CD? iTunes and downloaded a CD, downloaded MP3s. Honestly, people are moving towards streaming. So distribution in today's market looks a lot different. There are people like TuneCore and DistroKid and Stem and countless others that are creating all sorts of platforms that allow you to self-distribute yourself. So that's a whole nother conversation. That's not a distribution deal, but basically you can distribute yourself for little to no cost and get your music out there to the masses at global scale, which is beautiful. However, if you wanted to do something bigger, you wanted to do something greater, you said, look, I need more money, I need more access, I just need more. Distribution deals today look completely different, but they mirror what happened back in the day. So a distribution deal today may look like you signing a deal with a company like Empire, who's an amazing distributor in today's time period. Company like Empire may say, hey, we're going to give you an advance to market and promote your records. In addition to that, we're also going to help you promote your records by putting your records on all these really big popular playlists that we either have relationships with or that we created and curated ourselves. We have people out there that make playlists and do nothing but market and build playlists all day. And we're going to put your music on these playlists, and that's going to help get you awareness as well. So you get a check and you get your music shipped out to all the different stores, and they're helping you market. That's pretty much the same thing as what a distribution deal was back in the day. So as a distribution deal is still very real, still very relevant. The thing that you have to remember about a distribution deal is these distributors give you the cash to market yourself. They don't necessarily have all the expertise to market you. It's your job to go out there and market yourself. It's your job to take that money and know where to invest it, who to invest it with, how to get your money back, how to create awareness, how to do these different things. Do you know how to get your record on radio? Do you know how to create exposure for your record? Do you know how to get the whole hood jamming to your record? It's not just going to be buying a whole bunch of t-shirts and handing CDs out on the street. That's not what it is. It's not just paying for 1,000,001 ads on Instagram. You're actually going to have a system and methodology for how you're going to make this money back. It's a real business. That's the reason why distributors like to do deals with people that have businesses. Going back to the back in the day example, Master P was already moving units on his own. He owned a record store where they actually sold CDs. He learned the business by being in the store and owning a store and seeing how the CDs were scanned and what the process was and who he had to submit information to and stand a third. He learned it from the ground floor. He bought a store just to learn the game. You know what I'm saying? Everyone doesn't have that luxury, but he already had a business and was already moving units all around his town in Louisiana and a couple other different places, right? So when you think about Baby and Cash Money and what they did something similar. They were moving their own units. They were selling units all over the place and were on their own and making their own money. They didn't need a record label when the record label came to see them. So it was easier to get a distribution deal because these guys had already mastered marketing. They already knew how to go gold or go silver or, on their own without any help from a label, using their own money and their own funds. So if they got more funds, they already knew what to do based off of their knowledge of what they did with their previous funds. So, a lot of times distribution deals are given to people that understand the business at a high level and know how to make things happen. That's typically how the game goes. Now, should you seek a distribution deal? Well, it comes down to this. You can self-distribute in this world very easily. It's not this huge process to do so. We'll do videos about that. We'll talk about that more. I'll talk about that in the copyright series. I think that's the fourth book, I think, in that series, the fourth info pack, where we talk about all that type of stuff. So, all this information is available. It's online. You can look it up. You can figure out how to self-distribute. It's not hard, okay? But in reference to getting a distribution deal, you're looking for someone to cut you a check for marketing purposes. Now, remember that check is something that you have to pay back. So, it's not just, you got a check, go buy your mama a house, buy a Bentley. That's not how it goes. You have to pay that money back. So you need to have a team or people on your team or people around you that have done this before, that have the relationships at that high level, that can take that money and use that money to get you where you need to be so that you can make the money back. Because if you get the money, they sign you, get the money, you put the record out there and nothing happens, you're in debt now. And a distribution deal can go real south for you if you end up in debt. But you also don't have to take any money. You can just do a distribution deal, do playlists and different things of that nature, and not take a big chunk of money. So it's all up to you and how you want to handle your business. Other than that, I think that's all I want to touch on in distribution deals. We still got to talk about production deals. We still got to talk about shopping deals. I'll talk about both of those in the same video because those are important deals as well. So we've gone through a lot of different things. I hope all of this stuff is helpful. I hope you guys are soaking this up. Let me know how you feel. Comment, tell me, is this helpful? Do you want to know more stuff? Reach out. I think someone asked me, will I have these types of deals and contracts on the website? I'm working on it. I myself am working on a licensing deal with a attorney to get more content on there. I personally have access to certain documents that I've already started to put out there. But to get you guys what you need, I'm working it out. And hopefully I can help y'all out and give you guys what you need to get started, or at least give you something to look at that's real, where if you were to receive a contract, you'd at least know what to expect. What I like to do is to show fair agreements and then walk through those agreements line by line on video to show you what they say and what they mean and how to think about them and different things of that nature. Because I just realized there's a need for that crap. I'm tired of people getting screwed. I'm tired of people not knowing what they're doing, and it's just a part of the game. So I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little bit about a lot, and I'm trying to give you guys everything that I got. Every time you turn this camera, this is Phase 6. Like, subscribe, share. Subscribe. Instagram, the phone number is at the bottom of the website. You can shoot me a text. Let's rock out. It's Phase 6. I'm out.